you can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you'd like to listen in a still position, just feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there. And just allow yourself to fidget, adjust, stretch, or move in whatever ways your body wants to move. As you do your best to not think about these movements, but more letting your body move you in the ways that intuitively feel good in your bones, muscles, and joints. Just following those yummy sensations you may feel when you do some side body bends or torso twists, or even reach the arms overhead for a nice big morning stretch. And just feeling that space between your hip bones and the bottom of your rib cage. Feeling that space get a little bit longer, so giving your organs lots of space to breathe. And if you would like to move, or if you would like to keep moving, you can take on a more curious perspective, or do your best to take on a curious perspective with just what your range of motion is right now. So what does it feel like when you take circles with each arm? How far back can your arm go right now? What about your neck? And just becoming curious about how your body is doing right now and what you have access to in your body. And as always, if what feels best to your body at any time is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. And again, there's no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move even throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. But at any point, if you haven't already and would like to, you can make your way to a still position. Just feeling that the spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you now mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full, intentional cleansing breath, as you call in fresh, new air into the body, and almost watch yourself as you fill up to every corner and edge of you. As you hold that for a moment once you're full, to experience that sense of fullness. And without straining as you need to, slowly letting all of that go. Exhaling bit by bit, as you gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to now experience this sense of emptiness, allowing your next breath to come as it's needed. And you can breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. Not worrying about the length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just letting each of the 4 parts of your breath be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. So even when you think that you might be full of air, seeing if you can open up, expand your belly just a little bit more to take in one more moment's worth of air. And when you're about to roll over to the exhale, seeing if you can hold off on that for one extra moment than you might normally. And then as you exhale, even once you think you're empty, just pushing out a tiny bit more air to truly empty yourself as you pause and stay in that stillness, in that emptiness. And maybe you're in a mental state right now where you feel like your energy is scattered. Maybe it feels like your focus is being split to many different things outside of you. And if that's the case, you can almost see or imagine that the scattered energy, maybe it looks like these lines coming out from your body. And as you draw in a big inhale into the lungs, feeling your back and side body expanding as you breathe in, you can imagine these lines just turning around and coming back to you. So you're calling your own energy back to you. And as you exhale, this energy settles, solidifies within you and the space you are in right now. And you can continue to breathe in this slow and exaggerated way for as long as you'd like. But at any time, if you haven't already, you may release this guidance over your breath altogether and allow yourself to step back and up in the mind and into the role of the observer or the witness. And remembering how our breath is the one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. And so letting go of that voluntary guidance we just had over the breath, as you now simply observe the automatic process that is your body breathing you. And taking on that same energy you may have felt before when you lay on the beach and just watch the waves roll up along the shoreline. Not trying to change anything about the size or speed of the waves, but just watching as they come and go. Practicing seeing your body and its natural functions just as you would see any other force of nature. Maybe looking at the rain outside the window or watching a leaf trickle down a stream, staring at a mountain. Just that energy of watching, a curious perspective as you witness your own body. And maybe the mind is speaking rather loudly which can make it more difficult to simply witness. And if that is the case, then you can start to bring some awareness into your face. And even with the eyes closed, just making note of any resting expression that is on the face right now. Making note of any emotions that could be communicated by this resting expression. Maybe the brow is furrowed or the jaw could be tense. The nostrils could be flared, or even the chin or ears could be holding some lingering tension. And just allow your awareness of these areas of tension be all that you need to right now instead allow your face to soften. Maybe opening and closing the mouth a few times until you just feel your jaw hang into place. And allow your tongue to release from the roof of the mouth. Allowing your lips to rest softly on one another, as even the corners of the mouth soften a little bit more. And just feel how this release of tension in your mouth naturally allows the chin to soften a bit further as well. Followed by the nostrils, and the cheeks, and the upper jaw and the ears. Feeling the eyelids soften as well, and all of those tiny little muscles that exist along your lash lines. Letting those soften as well. The ones that scrunch up when you squint. Feeling those release a little bit further as the corners of your eyes get a little bit wider, simply with this release. Allowing the muscles of your face to spread. Just like a melting ice cube. Feeling the hairline even soften back as your forehead becomes a little bit wider and a little bit deeper. So feeling this general sense in all the muscles across your face, every single tiny muscle that has created every expression you've ever made. Seeing these muscles almost ungrip from the bones and allowing them to release back into the support of your skin. As you remind yourself that you do not need to hold yourself in any particular way. And you can trust your own anatomy. And that there is absolutely nothing that is required of you to do right now. This is not a doing or a thinking process, but rather one of listening and feeling. Remembering how when you let go and soften every muscle in your body, your anatomy holds everything exactly where it needs to be. The earth that is beneath you and the force of gravity all around you holds everything exactly where it needs to be. And so you can even allow your eyes to soften. Maybe even feeling like the eyeballs are becoming a little heavier and just resting in the eye sockets as you allow your gaze to be soft wherever it is you happen to be looking, whether that be at the world outside of you or at the world inside of you. Maybe at the backs of the eyelids, or maybe peering up into the forehead, or maybe the eyes rolling back even further as you peer into the skull. And just now awakening your sense of sight and becoming curious about what it is that you see right now, even if it is just darkness. Looking into that space. We spend so much time looking at screens outside of us. And so just let this be a moment now where you watch the screen inside of you, your own mind screen. As you now feel even your brain soften into the support of the skull, allowing your brain to rest. And maybe beginning to feel the sense of a heartbeat in the head. Feeling the pulse that exists in the head as you follow it down to its origin through the throat, into the chest, and into the heart. As you gradually let more and more of your awareness come to rest in your own heart. As you just sync your awareness up with this steady background beat to every single moment of your life. This heart has been pumping life and love into you from before you were even breathing air. From the time you were in your mother's womb up to this exact moment. And this heart will continue to work hard for you for as long as you are in this body. And just feeling all of the love that exists here. All the love that has been required for your existence in this moment right now. All of the love that has existed over centuries through your ancestors, family members, just for you to exist. All the love that has been fed into your body to keep everything functioning perfectly, to allow you to grow to where you are right now. Remembering how this heart is directly connected to every single inch of your body through pathways of veins and vessels. This heart is pulsing in your toes, in your fingertips, in the tip of your head, and every inch in between. And so allow yourself to become a little bit heavier as you exhale into this love and support. Maybe even taking on a memory of a time when you've hugged someone, or maybe an animal who you've loved dearly. And that moment in the hug where you exhale and allow yourself to be held. And you allow yourself to be loved. And taking on that same feeling with the earth that is holding you and the hug of gravity all around you. Knowing that when you let go, you will not be crushed, you will not float away, but you will be held exactly where you need to be. And feeling that deep core sense of safety that comes included on this earth and in this body. While at the same time, if there are any reminders or things that pop up within your mind, circumstances perhaps in your life that do not feel safe or do not support your safety, allowing those reminders to exist as well. Not ignoring them or trying to distract away from them and shoving love and light on top of everything, but allowing these reminders to act as seeds that are planted within you. As you remind yourself that there will always be a period of time between when we recognize we need to make a change and when we actually have the strength, the power, and the resources to make those changes happen. And so whether a seed is just being planted right now, or if there are seeds within you that have already taken root and are starting to grow within you, you're just having so much patience with yourself wherever you are throughout any process of change. And know that you are allowed to love yourself, your life, and your past, while at the same time having aspirations to be somewhere different or to be someone different. It is possible for you to love and accept yourself and who you are right now fully, while at the same time seeing another version of yourself that you'd like to grow into. In fact, it is necessary. We cannot change what we don't first accept. And so just being so kind and patient with yourself as we grow and change. And just know that you are already on your way to where you want to be. And there is nothing else that you need to do, or there's no one more things that you need to do in order to be happy or in order to be loved. But you have all of this within you right now. So you just take a moment to remember that everything in life has come from somewhere. Everything that is alive and everything that we see and experience was created somehow, some way. And you are one of those creations. And so you are directly connected to whatever source or force you believe created all things. And you do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be anything specific. You just need to be you, exactly as you were made. You are meant to make mistakes as well. You are meant to change and grow, just like everything else in this world. You do not need to do anything further to prove your worthiness of this life or this body. Because the proof of your worthiness is in the fact of your existence. And so you do not need to do things for more worth or more love or appreciation, but you can instead do things from this infinite supply of love that you already have access to. And there will be times where we feel like we have that unlimited access. And there will be other times where we feel like we have none whatsoever. And that is all a part of the process as well. And the most helpful reminder I like to remind myself of throughout all of the phases and changes we go through is an analogy that comes from Hellenistic astrology, where the moon is the representation of our physical body. Just like the moon, our body, our bones, muscles, joints, skin, and everything in between is simply matter. It does not have its own light, but it reflects the light of the sun, which is the representation of our soul. That spark that is within us that brings our body to life. And just like the moon, there will be times where we feel fully illuminated, like a full moon, where we are bright and whole and shine light for others in the darkness. And there are other times where that exact same moon is a new moon, where it is still there, but it's not reflecting any light, and it's in the shadows. And then there are all of those phases in between the new moon and the full moon. And we don't assume that there's anything wrong with the moon when it's new, when it's in the shadows, when it's in darkness. We don't assume it's done something wrong to deserve it. And so neither have you or anyone else who is in darkness. It's just simply another phase that we will all move through. And sometimes when we are in that darkness, the heaviest layer of our suffering is the one we put on ourselves, of self-blame and questioning and assuming that we've done something wrong to deserve darkness. But if we can instead, when those thoughts come up, when those blaming thoughts enter the mind, we can use those as cues to instead remind ourselves that I am exactly where I need to be. And even the moon is in darkness at times. And let go of that heavy layer of resistance to what is. And instead, allow yourself to do whatever it is that you need to do to comfort yourself, to sprinkle in the parts of your life that spark your interest, that fascinate you, that make you feel loved and happy and peaceful. And just trusting that the next phase is right around the corner. And just trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and you are going exactly where you're meant to go. And remember how all feelings are temporary. All things, period, are temporary, but especially how we feel. And the nature of feelings convince us that this is how we've always felt and how we always will feel, whether that be when we're depressed or when we're super happy and motivated. But we know that the only thing that is true is that everything changes. And so soak up every bit of what you are experiencing right now. And just witness the wonder that is this crazy life that somehow exists. And no matter what it is you believe in, there is some form of intelligence that knows all and sees all and created all, whatever you believe it to be. Whatever source or force you believe allows all of our hearts to beat and allows this earth to be in just the perfect position for life to thrive. You can take a moment to remember that whatever it is out there that has created everything, knows everything, sees everything, also knows you and sees you and hears you right now in every moment of your life. And so you can just take a moment now to say whatever it is you want to say to that source or force, whatever you believe in. Even if it is simply a thank you, a nice work. And just know that whatever it is that is on your heart to create, whatever urges you feel toward activities or creations or people, connections, music, art, just allowing yourself to trust those feelings a little bit more. And trust that we are drawn to the things that are meant for us. And that doesn't mean everything is going to be wonderful and good and happy and sunshine and rainbows. A lot of it will be painful and will hurt and be not ideal, maybe. But just trust that every single aspect is a part of the process. And remember that we would not know true joy and love and connection if we did not also know true pain and suffering. Because what we are feeling is the contrast between the two. And so you can give thanks for your lows the same way that you would give thanks for your highs. Because one does not exist without the other. And so we can just take a moment now to allow every single thing you've heard today and felt today to settle within you. If you imagine that your body is a snow globe and every word and feeling just a little speck of glitter swirling around in that snow globe. And you let now be the time where we set you down. Let the glitter settle and the air clear. And trusting that anything at all that you heard today that resonated with you in some way. Trusting that that feeling can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. And so just allowing those truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. And if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can just let your hands come and find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you once again just feel all of this power pumping through your heart, through your hands into one another. As you lift your heart toward your thumbs and press your thumbs back toward your heart. And feeling all of this power generated through you. And you can call in one final deep and full breath into the body, filling up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. You take a moment now to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. Bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and for taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you. Thank you, guys. If you want to stay in this zone a little longer, you can feel free to just float on out of here. I'm going to read through these comments. Hello, Filippo. It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been well. M says, wow, great messages. I was drawn here, and you're a great speaker and a bright light. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Mike, for your donation. Thank you for any and all donations anytime they come through. They really are incredible and help support me and motivate me to do these lives. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Rhonda. You too. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you, Chris. And thank you so much, Chris, for your donation. Thank you, Fontana. Yes, absolute spirit lift. If you come to my sessions regularly, you might notice a shift. I've been shifting. Things are happening for Ruthie. I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful. I will be back here. That was the other thing I wanted to say. I'll be back here on Tuesday. I think I'm doing Tuesday and Friday next week. Thank you so much, Samantha. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you so much, Jim and Greg. Absolutely. Yeah, self-acceptance. It's a journey. Comes and goes, waxes and wanes. Thank you so much, Diane. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Lee and M and Pierre. Awesome. Yeah, totally. It's, I don't know what it is. New year. It's also because I'm 27 now, and I always so I felt like I had a spiritual shift / awakening when I was 22, I think it was, maybe 21. Or it was 17, and then 22 was another one, and then you kind of just forget. I try to stay connected with it through doing this. I think 27 is another thing that people say, 20, your Saturn return maybe is 27. So I don't know, I'm feeling it. It's crazy. But thank you so much, Funam. It was really a great session today. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad it was for your first time. Yay. I have a YouTube channel with basically all of the live meditation recordings I've ever done up there. There's I think there's 200 at this point, but there's all those recordings there, as well as a bunch of yoga classes that are pretty old at this point, but they still work, and then a bunch of videos. I have a playlist called Ruthie Rambles, which is just me rambling about whatever I'm rambling about, and a health history and updates playlist where I talk about my health history and updates. So I've had ulcerative colitis, I got my colon removed, lived with an ostomy bag, I've had so many surgeries, live with a J pouch now, and just, that's really how I found the whole meditation and yoga and healing world in general, is through that. So my headache meditations and my stomach pain meditations was my entry point. So if you're curious about any of that or just my journey, there's hours and hours of me rambling out there. So, and more to come. I'm hitting the slower season with my work coming up. I edit wedding highlight videos for my full-time job, which is an amazing job, and I love it so much. But I've been slammed with work for months now, and I've finally got all caught up. I'm in the slower season, so I want to shift more to focus on Insight Timer, and YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much, Pierre, for your donation. Thank you, Sarah, for being here. Thank you, Wolfgang, for your donation, and for being here. Thank you so much. Energy shift equals sensational. You go, Ruthie. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Lots of first times here. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of people in here. I never look at that number because it freaks me out. But Linda, best session since last time here. Awesome. So glad to hear that. Greg, how many years have I been on here? I think I started here in 2019, I want to say. And I started the lives in 2020. But I think my first meditation I posted here was in 2019, I want to say. So how many years is that? It's 5 years now, 4 years, something like that. But yeah, you can find me on anything just by searching my name. I'm only on Instagram and YouTube and Insight Timer. Those are the things I do. But yeah, you can always reach out if you want to or need to. And I'll always answer in due time. Sometimes they take a while to answer, but I hope that my responses when I do answer is worth the wait. Here, I discovered Ian here 3 years ago, and it really put me on the path of feeling, yep, it is. Especially, I have a lot of autoimmune issues and stuff with my connective tissue, and the only way you access your deep connective tissue is through passive stretching, and it's just so beautiful. I highly recommend, let me type this in. I've been wanting to recommend Dr. Helene Langevin has these lectures actually on my YouTube channel in the playlist section. If you search for yoga education, I saved a few of her talks. They're lectures that she gives. It's so fascinating because she does ultrasounds of the effects of acupuncture and yin yoga on the fascia. And when you twist the needle, in that form of acupuncture, it's Helene Langevin. I don't know, hopefully that went through. I'll type it again. But when you twist the needle, you can see it in an ultrasound that it basically, if there is disorganized fascia tissue, it twirls it up, kind of like spaghetti on a fork. And then when you release it, it releases it and spreads it. And it's so cool it's very inspiring for me as well to just wow, let me make an acupuncture appointment, let me do some yin. So yeah, since I also have autoimmune issue, yep, it was the only way for me to approach movement. Yep, I can totally relate. It's a beautiful thing. I think as the years go on, it'll become more and more common knowledge, just the importance of stretching, because already you see in spaces where there was people never thought about stretching, they understand the importance of it now. But passive stretching in particular is a beautiful thing. Wow, I'm blabbing a lot today. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Even if you don't write in the chat, just thank you for your time. I hope you heard something that was helpful, and if so, I hope you share that with whoever you want to share that with. All right, I think I'm done for real now. Thank you for being here. Happy Friday. Happy New Year. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend, and I hope to see you next week, Tuesday, 7:30 a.m. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, bye.